How has your understanding of self changed while writing this project?
Identity is a wonderful, interesting subject. Um, and when I tackled it theologically, philosophically, I always felt that the individual was many personas. So we never really had a fixed self. Um, it was always the actual me is veiled, but when my child would come to me, and then I would take on the persona of the father. When I was at work, then I would take the role of the work. When I was a pastor, I would take the role of pastor or preacher. So those personas would reveal themselves, and then they would come back. I think in the project that we've been going through has really solidified that, and given me some new language to use, because when we see how society, um, religion, even philosophical frameworks can entrap our understanding of identity, um, we need to be able to break out of that. And Meta-Modernism does two things for us. It says our identity is many, but here is a history of identities that we can work with. It doesn't hide, it doesn't just deconstruct. It says, no, your identity is many, and this is good luck. It's more like, okay, yeah, we can be many things. But let's be honest and look at what identity looks like from these various frameworks, spatial frameworks. And from there, what are we picking? What are we choosing? Why? What does that do for us? What does that mean when you enter into society? And what are you willing to do and what you're not willing to do? So we're now becoming conversive with who we are, which is also beautiful when we look at, I think it was Ibn Arabi, when he's talking about the divine wanted to know divine self. Guess what? He separated and he started having a conversation. And when he wanted to think about what he was thinking about, it was another split, and there would be another conversation, and these conversations are happening. Contemplation. I think we're getting back to that. And then what that introduces is a richness of relations of the self, informing our identity, finding out what are our traumas and our memories and our encounters and people we loved and lost and what we, kind of wanted to do different and think about the future. All of that now just reveals that the self, who we are, we're not static, but we're dynamic. We're in process.